Averill, and I'm joined by my partner Brandon Averill. Today,
Disclaimer: Erik Averill and Brandon Averill are the co-founders of AWM Capital. Due to industry regulations, it's essential to explicitly state that investment or strategies mentioned on this podcast may not be suitable for you, and you should discuss your specific situation with a qualified, certified financial planner. All opinions expressed by podcast participants are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of AWM Capital or its affiliates. For more information, visit athleteceo.com.
welcome to the first episode of Athlete CEO. I'm Erik Averill. This is Brandon Averill. And today we're just doing a quick intro to the Athlete CEO show. To get started, I'm Erik Averill. I live here in Tempe, Arizona with beautiful wife Sadie, 2 kids, recently born Levi on December 27th, so some exciting time. Joined here, like I mentioned, not only my business partner at Athlete Wealth, but my daring and good-looking older brother, Brandon.
I'm Brandon Averill. I live out in Glendale, California. Got a beautiful wife, Ann. Little boy, Luke, shares a birthday 1 year earlier with his little cousin, Levi. And since I'm the good uncle and Dad didn't mention her, I'm also uncle to little Olivia. That keeps us all running kind of tight ship around the Averill house out here in Tempe.
Thought it'd be helpful to share a little bit of background about our business and us personally, which is ultimately the why behind Athlete CEO, the show. We started this business a few years ago, being former professional athletes ourselves, with the intent to help professional athletes make smart decisions with their money to ultimately have an impact first on their family, then their community, and then hopefully the world at wide. And it's through the experience over the years that we've realized athletes are blessed with this amazing opportunity, but on that road with opportunity are a lot of potholes that they need to avoid. And just through the years, we've had the education and the experience to help them navigate it. And that's the why behind the show, is ultimately we want to help athletes take advantage of the opportunity that's before them, and also understand from those that have gone before them and are actual experts in the field of business and investing what it takes so that they can be successful as well.
I think the big thing that I would add to why we ended up on this road, we both have professional playing careers, as Erik said. We played collegiately. I played at UCLA, Erik at Arizona State. We were very fortunate that in those programs we had a lot of friends, teammates, roommates that ended up playing in the major leagues. And what we found with all those guys was that they just didn't have good advice. We made the assumption that these guys are making a lot of money, they have professional people around them, but they were coming to us and asking us questions, and we just looked at it and saw an opportunity. I think we both jumped at the opportunity to build a business together, and it was really our playing background. I think they gave us some comfort with those athletes, some shared experience. But as we always share in our introductory meetings, that's great that we played, and we think that's important. We know when to call, when not to call, some of the struggles that they're going through, the opportunities they face, but more importantly, the expertise that we've built in ourselves with the team that we have, and now knowing the intimate knowledge, having specialized in working with the athlete over these years. We think we bring a lot of value. And what really excites us now, and I think has transitioned us to this podcast, is we've seen the landscape really change as we've been in this business, from the entrepreneur wanting to be the athlete, admiring those guys, to the flip side where now the athlete wants to be the entrepreneur. I mean, they're the ones that everybody looks up to now. That used to be a situation where everybody looked at negatively and was worried about the athlete going into the entrepreneurial space. For us, we see it as a gigantic opportunity. We think that the landscape's changing, but it needs to be done the right way. And I think that's what led us here, is looking at and saying, hey, we have access to the athletes that want this opportunity, want to seize it, and there will be some that seize it. And we also have access to the successful business world that may be able to help the athlete get there, and vice versa. Maybe the athlete can help them with some real value to help them grow their businesses.
What we're excited about with this show is, what our intention is to bring in the best and the brightest and the most successful from the sports industry, from the business industry, from the investing industry. And, we don't know exactly where it's going to go. Is when we look at what made us successful as athletes, it was so much of the people we surrounded ourselves with, right? We instantly tried to figure out who's the best nutritionist, who's the best strength coach, who's the best whatever in this, the particular skill set. And that's really what we want to do here, is to say, to be able to take advantage of this opportunity, let's bring in the best and the brightest in those areas. So, we're going to have some of the top founders of some of the startup businesses around. We're going to have athletes that we're going to focus on that have transitioned into a second career and taken that success with them. We're gonna highlight athletes that are making an impact in their community through their nonprofits or different causes, and then bringing in some people from the investing side that are killing it in what they're doing.
What this is really going to show is we're trying to educate. We're trying to bring some of the tools and tactics that exist out there for the business person, bring them to the athlete, and then I think also share with the entrepreneurs the dedication and some of the skills that the athletes have used to become elite in their field. And I think one thing Erik and I were talking about earlier was the athlete, I think, forgets a lot of times how much hard work it took for them to get to where they're at. And because they are so successful at what they do, the transition to the other side of things, they maybe forget how much work it takes to become successful there. So by exposing and educating that side of the business world, hopefully they'll see what they need to learn, what they can work on, and what they can take advantage of to get there.
Really, the conversation that we have a lot with athletes is wanting to build their personal brand and to leverage this platform. And it's something that everybody talks to them about, which we think is a huge opportunity as well, especially given the landscape today with the way that digital media is and the value that the athlete can actually become to the companies that are their sponsors, or bring them in at a seat at the table with some of these investors where they actually start to provide value. And we're excited to bring in experts on that side and just learn and see the pathway of the few athletes that have done that, and learn from those outside of athletics that we can actually help the athlete take that from concept to an actual, into fruition. Thank you so much for listening to the Athlete CEO podcast. I hope you enjoyed our show today and are ready to take action on the advice from today's episode. Our goal with the Athlete CEO podcast is to make it the go-to resource for athletes and entrepreneurs looking to take their game to the next level. Love the show? You have any suggestions on how we can improve? We'd love to hear from you. Send us an email, tweet, and share your thoughts. We do our best to read every single one. We'll see you next week with another world-class episode.